So the full-time whistle has blown just a moment ago at Loftus Versfeld. These are my immediate thoughts following the full-time whistle and doing this one live just so I can get it straight up and out and get your thoughts in as well. Please get stuck in the comments, live chat as I'm going live, and in the comments down below afterwards. Now we know two of the URC semi-finalists. Scotland versus South Africa, part 2, the Van der Merwe Boogaloo. Obviously, we knew that the Bravehearts got the edge in round 1 last night at Scotstoun. But, well, spoiler alert, just in case you've stumbled onto this and you do rugby, you think about games at this end of the season, they're usually tight and tense. Was that 11 tries? Some absolutely mad moments where it was just end to end. Some brain farts on the pitch. And with that in mind, I think the Bulls got away with that there, and they were the better team in the end, deserved to win, and their power told. But they're going to need to, I think they're going to need to play more knockout rugby in the next game, whoever it is they face. It's Sharks or Munster. I mean, how excited am I about that game? That's going to be an absolute belter. But yeah, I think they're going to need to just lean on the clear strength that they've got up front. And when that did come to the fore, it was frightening. Really, really good. So, yeah, you can see, you can see just from the time that the scores were put in that it was Edinburgh that got out to a proper start. Let me come back. Just the most typical Edinburgh performance, says Marzo. Well, you might not have been saying that after 10 minutes, or maybe that's the point. They can play some sublime stuff and then they can just go walking. Sluggish start from the Bulls. Let me start at the start. Loftus Versfeld is an amazing place to watch rugby. It's hostile in the best possible way. Having watched the Ireland game there last year, it's amazing. And I couldn't believe how quiet it was after half an hour. But that period, and that's to credit Edinburgh, that period from 30 to 50, that 20-minute window gave a hint at how the Bulls can win this competition, if they're going to win this competition. But there's a comment right there from Connor. Neither team looked like a competition-winning side. I think that's where my mind would be if I were Jake White. Although actually, to be fair, where my mind would be if I was Jake White would be, I'm so glad that game's done. I need to get myself to the toilet because I've just had about 8 bottles of water. What is it with Jake White on his own? Not in the like all the other coaches. They get to sit with their other coaches in the coaching box. Jake White with that little table. It's like he's arranged to meet his mates in a pub, and they haven't turned up, and he's just left on his own. But if I were Jake White, I would be saying you've just got to. That 30 to 50 minutes is the blueprint. The rest of it, no, lads. I mean, as fun as it was, and that was a really fun game to watch, wasn't it? That last, 15 minutes, just end to end, mad rugby. When I'd be thinking, right, well, we've almost won the game. We've got our foot on Edinburgh's throat. Just squeeze like a boa constrictor. Just slowly send them to sleep. But they just kept shooting themselves in the foot. But it made for a really fun game for a neutral. I was on a WhatsApp group with some friends of mine who are they're Bulls fans, but in Joburg. And they, even when it was 18-3 down, Wes was on the message going, "No, I'm still fine. We're still okay. We're still okay." I could tell he was getting a little bit nervous. Was it 21-3 at one point or 18-3? Anyway, they were a long way down. It was 21 because it was 3 scores, wasn't it? And they were playing so far below themselves, and the power game hadn't come to the fore at all. But it was almost like the Bulls were like droids. Like, what's that? In sci-fi movies where you get like robots, and then suddenly, some evil villain flicks a switch, turns them all on, activates them. It's like maybe that's what Jake White he forgot to turn them on. Anyway, they clicked into gear after half an hour. Wilco Low, Quadzilla, went to town and ate Pierre Schoeman. And that was kind of the start of the end. But where do we start? Oh, yeah. Wes Geursen Well, apparently his family from Pretoria, so a special day for him. Special day for PS Guman, he was at Pretoria University, played for the Bulls before he went to Edinburgh. Obviously, we didn't see Duhan van der Merwe. We saw Aka come off the bench, but Wes Curson was really good. And yeah, the first try for him was outstanding. It was a yellow for Seb de Klerk. Just on the referee, by the way, I've seen a few comments about the referee. Some people saying that Jake White, what he had in his bottles of water is vodka. Well, that would have got him through the game anyway. The stress of it. Yeah, the referee, Adam Jones, wasn't it? I haven't really seen much of him before. There's a couple of things. Some people pointing out decisions that were wrong both ways. I think on the whole, it was fair and it was called as it was seen. But I do like seeing a ref that looks like a ref. You know, a lot of refs these days are getting more and more stacked. They look like they could actually play a bit. I quite like a ref. He looked like an old school ref. It was good. Anyway, yeah, Ross Thompson, who had a really good game until his yellow card, he scored a really good try. Ashman carrying hard. And it was Jan-Hendrik Wessels and Wilco Low just bought the dummy. I mean, when you're on your own line, just step off and hit someone. So they got done a little bit by the 10, but fair enough. Hanacon with a try. And it's interesting, actually. I'm glad Hanacon came back on and there was no big issue. But it almost seemed like after Hanacon had gone off and that's when the ball started to click into gear. It was almost like they were like, oh, right, Cam's not here. We're going to have to do this rather than him just doing it himself, which he has done in games before. But there you go. Yeah, Jamie Ritchie, mentioned for him, actually, his final game for Edinburgh. He's heading off to France. What a player he is. And there was one moment where he had a bit of handbags with Jan-Hendrik Wessels, which, I mean, he was given a pen against him. I just said, play on. They both shook hands, talking about being old school. Shook hands, on they go. But Jamie Ritchie then reacted with a brilliant turnover on his own line. And then moments later, Ross Thompson was up the other end, extending the lead 21-8. 30 minutes gone. Loftus quiet. Edinburgh 3 scores to the good. Massive 10 minutes up to half time, and come the hour, come the man. That's why Willy Leroux still playing, still a Bok at his age, and why he will get his 100th Test match as well. Class line that he cut, set David Creel away. Vorster scores straight afterwards. Absolutely clinical. Bulls have been activated. Scrum pen, Quadzilla going to work. And even though they didn't score at the end, that scrum pen just felt really, really significant. It's just so much momentum, which carried on immediately in the second half with another scrum penalty, Kanan Moody's try, then Keegan Johannes with wheels, and both of those tries in the second half. Obviously, Keegan Johannes went and had a foot transplant because he's changed his boots, did something, because he came out and started kicking beautifully. And from 21-8 down, it was 32-21, and you're thinking, right, well, this is done. Game over. They can just squeeze this one out and then look forward to the Sharks or Munster at home in a week's time. But Edinburgh had different ideas, and the Bulls were like, no, let's just keep playing mad rugby. Well, I would like to thank Bulls for that. I would have been tearing my hair out a little bit if I was a Bulls fan. Just end it. End this game. But it made for an entertaining match. Let me dive into the comments a little bit. Thank you so much. I really appreciate this. I'll be doing this for the other games. I've been trying it out, doing these live straight after the games. Just hit record, give my thoughts, and then you give me yours. So Zvibo, decent shot from Edinburgh, given they only sneaked into the final 8. That's a really good point, actually. The fact Edinburgh had those almost like knockout games for the 2 weeks before they got into the playoffs just to get there. They've got a long way to go, but the progress they've made is huge. Yeah, and I think that's a fair comment. Could not believe they did not give the TMO some proper time on the try they scored, forward pass to Darcy, even more so when the Bulls would have scored and Edinburgh players slapped the ball down. Yeah. Well, I don't know what you're finding. I'm finding there seems to be an intent to give a yellow card where you can rather than a red, or a penalty rather than a yellow where you can, and to get on with the game. I guess it wouldn't have made a difference to the result today, but I'm sure in big, really important knockout games when the result is on the line, the referees will defer to the TMO a little bit more, but I do hear that. Not sure the Bulls would have won that had they been away from home. Yeah, well, thank you very much, David Hogg. Every single match of the last 5 that these two teams have played, the home team has won. But on every single occasion, it's been relatively close. And I guess actually, to be fair, what was it? 9-point win. Edinburgh did manage to do quite well to get it fairly close. Let's cheer on Scarlets to upset chokers Leinster. Well, they're going to be waiting in the other semi-final to host. Actually, if Scarlets do manage to win, where is that semi-final? Presumably that'll be at Scotstoun. That's not a question for this video. As a Sharks fan, I'm nervous, Tim. Is that about? Yeah, you're not thinking ahead a week to be nervous about going to Loftus, are you? You've got to get past Munster first. That game this evening, cannot wait. If Scarlets beat Leinster, they deserve the trophy almost. Maybe we'll just change the rules. Just give them the title there. If Leinster lose that game, can't imagine what those everything those. Some people, I mean, there is an element of dark humour in it, but what those Leinster fans go through, and they keep smiling and they keep coming back, and I kind of appreciate them for that. Marco van Staden, so underappreciated. He's a massive grinder. Yeah, thank you, Eric. I think there was moments in that second half where you're like, that's why Marco van Staden is still a Springbok, because there's times when he can sort of float out of games, but there are just moments, and big important moments, where these class players. And look, I'm not going to argue with Rassie Erasmus. He thinks he's good enough to be in the box squad. He knows better than anyone. But yeah, there were moments where you look at it and go, that's why. It's like, what's that phrase Rassie Erasmus says? It's not about picking the best player. It's about picking the right player. And again, it's not about doing amazing things on the rugby field, or of course it is, but you know what I mean? It's about doing things at the most important moment. There are some players who score incredible tries when you're already 30 points up or you're 30 points down. There are some players that do make big plays when it really, really counts. And yeah, in those moments where the game was kind of could have been on a knife edge, could have swung one way, there were big players that swung the momentum in the Bulls' favour. And I thought, again, just to talk about that back row position for the Springboks, we're going to see Sia Khaleesi playing there later at number 8 for Sharks. I didn't think it was Evan Ruiz did enhance his reputation massively last night. Cam Hanekom again, really impressed me. Johan, the Sharks will win, no doubt, and the team lineup for the Munster game has plenty of Springboks in it. Yeah, when they want to, it's a bit like the Bulls in this game. When they want to, irresistible. Right, it's nearly 1:45. It's about time to get settled in. Go and charge your drinks. If you're Jake White, get another 10 bottles of water and go and sit on a chair completely on your own. And time for us to go and watch the next game, which is moments away, Leinster v Scarlets. Look, I really appreciate this. It's really fun doing it live like this. And yeah, I'll see you after the next game, shall we? Right. Thank you for that. I'll see you on the next one. Oh yeah. Drop a little thumbs up on the video. That will help spread the word. It's just me. And if you haven't already, hit subscribe.